2B2T is a decade-old Minecraft server that has never been reset. It has no rules. You can hack, steal, grief, and cheat. I attempted to escape spawn and survive 100 Minecraft days, roughly 33 hours, on the hardest Minecraft server that has ever existed. It was not easy. I find some insane things along the way, and this video gets crazy, so make sure to stick around. This is 100 days of Minecraft anarchy. I first loaded into the server and was greeted by the desolate spawn wasteland. I started by heading towards a nearby nether portal. Travel would be much easier here. I actually used to play 2B2T in 2017 with my friend, and still had some of the items in my ender chest. It's nothing compared to what most players have, but it's all that remained out of our old base after it had been griefed. I took a little bit of food and started to get going. You may notice that I am using a hack client. As it's within the rules of the server, I decided I'd use one to help me with the basics. I noticed another player and got a bit scared, so I decided to move along quickly. A misstep sent me plummeting towards the ground, but I managed to save myself on some vines. Had to take a small breather after that. I appeared to be stranded down here. I made some attempts to climb back up the vines, but I just couldn't. After navigating the floor for a while, I realized that I wouldn't be able to get back up. I put my items away and jumped straight into the lava. Time for the second attempt. I made my way carefully down the lava cast. I didn't want to take any fall damage. I took some supplies from my ender chest again. This time, I decided to take a little bit more. After walking for a while, there was still no easy way to solid ground, so I had to take a leap of faith. I spent a while traveling up the water stream so that I could fill my bucket at the very top. This gave me a lot more freedom with my movement, and with a water bucket and a fishing rod, I'd be able to farm food wherever I wanted. For a split second, a green line appeared on my screen. This was a tracer, my client showing me that a player is nearby. I ran away until I got to a weird room with lots of portals. Got some flint in case I needed to light a portal, and I went through. Straight into a portal trap. I didn't know how to get out, so I tried breaking the obsidian. Eventually, two friendly people rescued me, so I thanked them and we went our separate ways. I began walking down one of the obsidian highways to travel out of the spawn area. The entire highway was made out of obsidian, but I did see an end crystal too. This road extends millions of blocks, all the way to the world border, and I ended day 1 while traveling along it. Day 2, I stepped off the highway to try and avoid other players that may be using it. I found some wooden planks, so I took what I could, and I used them to craft some basic tools. I went back to traveling and encountered 4 endermen in one place. I'm pretty sure that is insanely rare, but I had no use for them. After traveling 2,000 blocks, I got hungry and had to return to the overworld. 1 block in the nether is equal to 8 in the overworld, so we were now over 15,000 blocks from spawn. I used some materials from my ender chest to craft some iron armor and a diamond pickaxe. I fished for food, collected some wood, and got all prepared to leave again. Day 3, I was back in the Nether. The portal took me away from the roof, so I had to use some other paths to get around. I took a random portal, but it leads to nothing. I'm back in the Nether and what the f is that? I'm bombarded by ghosts. So I run until I can't hear them anymore. Another portal led me to nowhere, but I used the string in my ender chest to craft a bed and set my spawn point. Now, if I die, I won't go back to the world spawn. I collect some shiny blocks and hop on a minecart track that I found. It only went about 100 blocks before stopping, and I was forced to get out. There was a small build, so I decided to check the overworld, but it led to nothing of interest. I came across some signs on the path, and decided to add my own, just a small milestone of our first few days. By day 5, we were over 60,000 blocks out in the overworld. My fishing rod allowed me to stock up on some more food, and I returned to the Nether on day 6. I started gathering some mushrooms so that I could make stew. It would be easier than constantly fishing for food. A portal led me to some chests in the overworld, but they were only a small AFK fish farm. However, it did have some bowls for my mushroom stew. Starting day 7, I changed my client slightly to show traces pointing towards nearby chests and portals. This far out in the Nether, portals were a lot more scarce, and they were generally quite useless too. I did find 2 golden apples in a dungeon though, which was nice. I found myself at a desert temple and decided to set my spawn point there. I found someone's banner high up on the roof, but wasn't sure if it had any significance. Having a supply of mushroom stew made things so much easier. At 100k blocks in the overworld, there was a sign that was apparently 4 years old. Going through the portal took me nowhere interesting though. I decided to try my luck with some overworld travel for a while. Out this far, things looked like a normal survival world. Well, like a normal world with random netherrack structures. I tried using a boat, but ended up getting kicked from the server for it. On day 10, I found a village and took some food from it. We were finally 10% of the way towards our goal. I found a small base hidden in the ground. It didn't have much, but I stole some food and returned to the Nether. I end up in some netherrack tunnel system. I found a community chest, so I took some food and left some iron. I remained in the tunnel until day 12, where it opened up onto the main diagonal highway. As we weren't near spawn, I figured we were safe to travel along it. A portal took me to the ruins of a small base, but it had been looted for a long time. I found more ruins on day 14, but not much else. I think I was starting to go crazy at this point, but there was still a lot of traveling to be done. But I kept going, and going, and going. Until on day 19, a misstep got me killed. It's okay though, because I was back at the temple, so I got some stuff, and fuck. I had nothing now, so I had to collect whatever I could. I decided to try my luck with one of the main highways. I came across a small base with a weird netherrack maze. I ended up mining diamonds for full diamond armor and tools. I also tamed a horse that I found nearby, but it turned out animals going through portals was removed due to an exploit, so I had to say goodbye to my horse. On day 25, I found a ruined base, where I was able to stop for some food. I decided to set out in the overworld again. At a village I found, there was a year-old sign at one of the buildings. I didn't find anything else for quite a while, and I was beginning to feel a little demotivated. Using flint and steel, I was able to cook meat easily, finally giving me a good source of food on day 35. I also came across a base on this day. It had been grafted, but there was still some stuff laying around. It looked like it was mainly used for AFK fishing. I set my spawn point here, and then immediately died in the nether. That's okay though, I used a boat to get all of my stuff back. And then 2 minutes later, I lost all of it in lava. After a while of mining iron, I took a horse and left. I was getting sick of the nether by this point. But then, finally, it happened. I found a pile of chests. Could this finally be a dupe stash? Filled to the top with shulkers of rare items? Well, no. They were all empty. All of them. And if things couldn't get any worse, my horse just suddenly died. Which was cool. Things were really not going well for me. I didn't find anything interesting until day 46, where there was a random ender chest and a totem of undying. This was my first item that was actually rare, and I knew it would come in handy. I also found a mushroom biome, which gave me the achievement for exploring every biome in the game. I decided to hop on a nether highway again and see how far out I could get. I found someone's dead body on the highway. They had diamond armor, so I stole all of it. And then, when stopping for food, I found another body, which also had diamond gear. By day 60, we had made it 500,000 blocks away from spawn. The overworld was nothing more than destroyed terrain. I don't know what used to be here, but it's all been griefed now. Back on the highway, a few days later, I find another player's body. This time they had golden apples. Enchanted golden apples are extremely powerful. They would be very useful. I used the silk touch pick I got from one of the bodies to take an ender chest with me. And by day 70, we hit the next milestone. 1 million blocks out from spawn. There wasn't a portal here, so I quickly lit my own one. The 1 million monument wasn't quite what I was expecting. This was the largest grief I had seen on 2B2T so far. A lava cast all the way to the build limit. But we couldn't stick around, I was back on the road. Sections of the highway were no longer paved this far from spawn. Time was beginning to lose all meaning, and I used whatever methods I could to speed up travel. Little did I know I was about to make a huge discovery. On day 87, I branched off of the highways, trying to find signs of other players. I found a strange tunnel that opened to a nether portal. And I found myself in a mushroom biome. After confirming that the mushroom biome was empty, I found a long minecart track in another part of the tunnel. They led to a village, and I was quite confused and disappointed by this. But then it hit me. They were using these tracks to transfer villagers out of the village. That meant on the opposite side of these tracks, there had to be a base. I followed the tracks as far as I could, and eventually, they came to a portal. I knew this had to be it. Oh my god. This place doesn't even look griefed. Oh my god. No way. No way! After over 30 hours and nearly 2 million blocks away from spawn, we had finally found something really exciting. Sadly, they didn't have any shulkers or rare items laying around, and most of the chests were empty. The castle was insane, but there wasn't too much else at the base besides for it. Just the castle and a few farms. I wanted to end on a high note, so I planned on spending the last 7 days here. However, I then found out that in a couple of days there was going to be a party for the 10-year anniversary of 2B2T somewhere near spawn. I knew that I really wanted to check that out. It would be one of the largest player gatherings in the server's history, and I really wanted to attend it. So I actually spent the last 7 days traveling back to spawn, and I had to say goodbye to the castle. It's already over now, but I actually did end up attending the party, and it was really interesting. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll be uploading my recording of the party sometime in the next month. So if you want to see more of my 2B2T journey, make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it. But thank you for watching my first 100 days.